I've had a lot of low times. Like my life tends to be like this poetically karmic evil system of highs and lows. Like there's always a balance, but when I'm bipolar, I'm whatever you want to call it, whatever your label it is, fuck it, I don't care, I've heard them all. When you're labeled something like that, we feel things on a level you can't even fucking fathom. So when we're high, god damn it, we're reaching for stars and we're getting damn near close to catching them. There's this excitement and pure, utter fucking joy. And it's like, it's better than any fucking drug. But the balance is, when we're low, we're just tunneling, going further and further down. And that's something no one should have to live with, especially not alone, because you're fucking crazy. My rock bottom, if you will, was when I just moved back from Tennessee after my life fell apart and I had nowhere else to go. I moved into that house. My parents' house, my mom and stepdad. Last fucking place I wanted to be. But I had nowhere else to go. And I was driving for 15 hours. Just violent sobs the entire time. And I needed someone to talk to. And I knock on the door, and it's 30 minutes of me knocking on the door because I don't have a cell phone. And I walk to the side of the house, and I can see in the window my mom is asleep on the couch right there. And I just start banging on the window because I need my mom. Like I need my mom. So she finally wakes up and she groggily goes and she opens the door, and I just fucking latch onto her because I needed a hug. And she's like, yeah, I love you too, son, but I'm really tired. I'm gonna go back to bed. My life just fell apart, and you're going back to bed? What the fuck is that? I mean, really? I need my mom. But she's passed out, so I call my aunt on my dad's side, my dad's sister. And it's 2 in the fucking morning. And she's like, come on over. We'll talk about whatever you need. I love my Aunt Betty. We've had some rough times, but she's my angel. We're one of them. But it's hard being in that situation. And I just fucking left my mom asleep on the couch. And she calls me the next morning. And she says, I'm sorry that you got upset last night. You just have to understand, I worked a 12-hour shift and I took my sleeping medication and I was tired. That's just kind of how it is. So I said, no, Mom, you have to understand, all right? My life just fell apart. I've got nowhere else to go. Like, every dream, every egg was in this basket. I'm fucked. I needed my mom. And I just drove 15 hours. 15 hours. And all I was asking for was someone to talk to, and you fucking took sleeping pills to avoid it. So I came back here, and I started living here. And for a month, I didn't leave my room. And it was bad, dude. It was bad. I didn't come down for a month. At one point, I had bronchitis or something. I was fucking sick. It was bad. Like, I couldn't get up. For 16 hours, I couldn't get up. And I had to go to the bathroom, but I just held it because I could not physically move. And that lasted about a week. And not once did my mom come and ask if I was okay, if I needed anything. Felt like I was fucking dying, emotionally and physically, and no one gave a shit. And when I felt a little bit better, I said, fuck this, I'm done. And I made a plan that I was gonna slice my wrists. And it was gonna be, I didn't want to do it in my room. I wanted to leave a note letting her know where I was. That way she could call someone else to come get me. Because I didn't want the last thing my mom saw of me was bleeding out on my bed in her house. That's fucked up. So I made a plan to slice my wrists right here. And I was scared. And on the day I was gonna do it, Mom called in sick for work. Never fails. And I didn't come down. I didn't know what to say. And she got so fucking angry with me because I didn't ask her how she was feeling or to get her anything. And I'm like, I want to fucking die. Like, I'm dealing with shit too. I'm sorry you're sick. I hope you feel better soon, but I'm working through some shit. So an idea popped in my head. I had already ended Scattered Thoughts, which is my longest running blog. That's where all this shit came from. I ended it. Think about that. Like, that was the one constant. Like, that's how fucking done I was. I fucking ended it. Because I didn't think I had any stories left to tell. And so I knew she was going to be home Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so I wasn't going to do it while she was there. So I had to wait a long time before I could even think about doing it again. And I said, you know what, I still got some shit to say. So I created a new blog, the first one in years, and I started a new chapter. And I was proud of it. And it was the perfect continuation of the story which came before it. It's my act 2. And I had been up for close to 60 hours straight. When you're up for 60 hours in a room by yourself, and that state of mind, that's fucking hell, let me tell you. But I wrote that. And at the time, I was always broadcasting my shit on Facebook. Like, hey, just wrote a new piece, here's a line from it, you want to hear the rest? Come check it out, this is great. Huh. And then they would read one line and think the entire thing was about one line, so they don't finish it, so they don't know where it goes. I said last Wednesday I was going to kill myself. And then that's the halfway point. There's still a lot of this shit to read. And if you would just finish it, you would know that I was going to be okay, because I realized I had a fucking another story to tell. Fuck that. It gave me a reason to live, ladies and gentlemen. My aunt saw the link on Facebook, took that one line, and then raised the alarm. Didn't bother to read it. And that's how the fucking news works. You just get the crisis sentence. You never read the rest, so you just go into full-on panic mode. She calls my mom. Says, Ben's gonna kill himself. And there's a difference between Ben and Davlin, let me tell you. And she said, Ben's gonna kill himself. And at this point, after 60 hours straight being awake, I was asleep for an hour, and I slept so fucking hard I didn't hear all of those sirens going off. I realized I had 20 missed calls from my mother. And she's like, do I have to send the cops out? And I'm like, why? She's like, well, Aunt Carla saw your Facebook post. And I was like, well, apparently she didn't read all of it, because I'm fine. The name of the new blog that I had started was called Subsistence. Subsistence means your reason to live. And that's what that blog was. The URL for it was Living Only for Myself. everything completely counteracts that one line that you fucking pulled the trigger on. And I said, I assure you I'm fine, I'm just going through some shit. Feel better now. I didn't mean for what I wrote to react, or, you know, to affect you that way. Like, that wasn't my intention. Like, I'm sorry I upset you. And she's like, well, Jeff's already on his way. Fuck me. He shows up, and he sits me down. He's like, I don't know what your problem is. Like, what have you ever gone through that's so bad? I was like, what the fuck do you know about me, Jeff? You haven't asked me one time. Do you know why I was in the fucking mental hospital? Did you ever think to ask? I had herpes, dude. Fucking herpes. You know what that's like? Having sores on your junk and knowing that anyone that comes close to you can fucking get it. And the person you got it from sits 6 feet away from you every day, and it's a little bit difficult. Like, did you know any of that? He's like, well, no, I didn't. I was like, because you don't talk to me. He's like, well, you don't understand that you're depressed a lot. You're a downer. No one wants to be around down people. It bums everyone out. Like, that's not love, Jeff. It's not. Love is being there, especially in those times, not just whenever it's comfortable. You don't love me. He's like, did you ever stop to think that your problem may be this little writing thing you do? I was like, we can't talk at all anymore. Like, this is just, there's no way you'll ever understand me. And then they tried to get me committed in the same hospital again, and I fucking booked. And now I'm back. That's really all I have to say about it. This goes for you, Joey. This is bipolar. It all kicks off with a trigger. No matter how small, it may seem so innocuous. My blood, it boils, my heart turns into dust. Like the arrival of a new face, leaving feelings displaced. Was I trying to replace or simply erase the events of this waste that began in haste? Because it was all in vain. So that my heart is stained, head is strained, but it's not exactly the pain that's driving me insane. So when did your feelings start to wane, only to be swapped with such disdain? It all puts me on the defense, which only leaves you on the fence, quite unsure what to do next, leading us to this current mess. But if it was all just a test, then we failed, but I'm bereft, out of breath, and completely out of my depth. Yeah, and this is what it's all come down to. Me hitting rock bottom and admitting I'm through with the promises I couldn't keep that equal to the number of nights I stay up and weep just trying to cry myself to sleep, only to end up wide awake and drained of tears. Shadows become manifestations of my fears I've hidden inside my closet for many, many years. Every day's a letdown, every night a curse. Seeing your smiling makes things worse, cause I'm not the one that put it there. The final irony for which I was unprepared. You're always finding ways to let me down. You're so full of shit that your eyes turn brown. But good things come to those who wait, while ugliness fills the heart to the fake. But my ugliness will fade until one day it all but goes away. Then you'll be left with the emptiness, a toxic reminder of all of this. And after all this shit you put me through, yeah, I want you to know. Even though I'm left here burned, it's another lesson learned. The next page turned. One more day that I have earned. Thank you.